students ask me how they can make sure they're using all the knowledge that they have to their own advantage in the exam to do a successful mediation, in this case, in their EOI test. And well, it is in fact a very good question. And if you have ever wondered how you can prove you are a confident mediator, well then keep watching, because this video is certainly for you. Hi, my name is doesnt, and I've been an EOI teacher for 15 years, and I created EOI por Libre to help you succeed at your EOI exam. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips to really succeed in your mediation exam. Tip 1. First thing you need to do when you are doing your mediation exam is to think about the purpose of the mediation, that is, what the other person needs, because that is going to help you easily identify which structures you need to use to perform your mediation successfully. I'm going to give you one example. If you are helping somebody choose between 2 options, you'll need to compare, yes, and to contrast. For example, imagine there is someone, a friend of yours, for instance, who was coming from the United States, and they're going to rent a car, but they don't know which option is best, and they ask you for help. And there are 2 options in your mediation card. They have the silver option and the gold option. And in the instructions of the mediation, it is specified that they want to be worry-free. They want to travel without having to bring pocket money and worry about filling in the tank. Okay, so you need to use something to clarify. For example, you can go for silver, but then silver doesn't include the petrol card. Whereas in a gold option, you're giving a card with 500 kilometers, petrol, and you can stop at any gas station. You'll be worry-free, as that's what you want. Okay, now imagine that you're giving advice to someone because they want to improve their relationship with their children. In that case, you're going to use structures like, according to the text, it would be a good idea to listen before you speak when you're having a conversation with your children, even you're angry or mad about something that they did. Or you could say, from what I read, it is advisable to agree on the norms and house rules so they know where they stand. Okay? Good. The conclusion for this is choosing structures that are appropriate for the purpose of the mediation is imperative in any mediation. Yeah, that's tip number 1. Let's move on to number 2. Be objective, be neutral. Know that in mediation, you don't give your opinion. You don't have to. You shouldn't actually. Yeah? Because, but you can express whether one option or another is better for them according to the situation, to what they expressed that they needed, but not in your opinion. So make sure when you compare, for example, if there are several options, or if you're giving advice, make sure you make reference to the context. For example, you could say something like, as I know you were worried about your son's behavior, this text that I found may be of help. In your case, there are 2 options that you can choose between, according to this infographic that you sent me. Or, so you're making reference and you're justifying why you're giving that information according to the situation and according to the text. Good. Tip number 3, avoid repetitions. This may sound really obvious, right? Yeah, but it's easier said than done, believe me, because one thing is knowing it and a very different thing is doing it. So with mediating text, there is an idea, imagine, that is mentioned usually once or twice. And when you mediate, once is enough. Go straight to the point, because that's one key aspect in mediation. You need to go straight to the point. Don't beat about the bush. You don't need to give a lot of explanations or examples to illustrate each day of the information, because you need to avoid repetitions. Tip number 4, skip the information that your audience doesn't need. For example, the other day, I was doing this practice with one of my students in a mediation course, and there was someone who was mediating a text about basic income. It was a task that had been published in one of the official exams. And so not only were there several ideas that were repeated throughout the text, but one of them was the age range for people who can apply, and then the exceptions, and another one was the conditions that they needed to meet. Okay. Those ideas were repeated in 2 different paragraphs in this, and this student was translating the text bit by bit, paragraph per paragraph. And that's something that won't help you get a high score. When there are ideas that are repeated, exclude them from your mediation. Just mention them once and always summarize. Avoid going paragraph per paragraph. Just find the information you need to provide more like an overview, unless the context instructs you to find specific information, which is a totally different case, okay? So tip 5, the context is key. Let's continue with the example I was giving you. So this student was giving all the details in a text, but in this particular case, the task asked about the system in general, just because someone was curious about how it worked, not because they were going to apply for it. So that makes a real difference. In a mediation like that, you need to provide a general explanation, not specific details, because when we're mediating for specific details, it is well specified in the context. Right? Okay. I hope those 5 tips were really, really useful for you. And now let me tell you, of course, about our exclusive app that thousands of people have already downloaded and are using on a weekly basis to train and prepare strategically for their EOI exams. In it, you will find content that you won't find anywhere else, and I'm 100% positive you're gonna love it. You can download it totally free just by clicking the link below in the description of this video and start using the free resources to prepare effectively, to save time, to find guides. There are learning tests to activate your phrasal verbs, to activate your idioms, and I'm positive that you're going to find it really useful. Now, of course, if you like this video, leave me a comment below so more people can find it, so we continue creating valuable content that will help you in your EOI exam. And let us know what you need, what you're looking for, because we will create content that is adapted to your needs. And of course, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell so you'll be notified when our next video is released. Of course, as usual, keep up with the hard work and see you soon.